Hey, what's up everybody? This is Charles and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is independent sports media desperately needed for balance? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, make sure you check out Dreamerspro Max, our online sports community that we created. Place where you can go and start basketball discussions, chat live during games, so many of the cool things. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check that out. We have that linked in the description below. And also make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel, become a member of our channel. Anyway, so let me get into this topic here. So for the longest time on Dreamerspro here, we've campaigned about the importance of, having balance in sports. This is something I've been saying. This is something Marco and I have been saying on this channel for the longest time, right? We've always maintained that, listen, we want to be different. We want to be a voice in this arena, and we want to be able to give a fresh take on things as we see them, right? Now, this is one of the reasons why a lot of our strategy, as far as the way we produce our content, involves us not, for example, using a lot of highlights. When we started off doing content on YouTube, it was highlight driven because that seemed to be the way, things that seemed to be business as usual. That's the way people were used to consuming content. Early on, it was good because people watch our content because, it's more fun to watch. But over some time, we quickly realized that you can't really build a core following. You can't build an audience doing that because people can't connect with you if they can't see you. That was the first reason we decided not to do that. The second reason is we said, first of all, for the people that you see out there using highlights and all of this different stuff, they don't own any of that content. None of them. You don't own any of that. Any NBA video, that's owned by the NBA. And why would we put ourselves in a position where we do all of this work just to go use a piece of content that we don't own? They could ultimately come back to us and they can say, listen, take this video down. You don't own this. You don't own this content. This is not yours. So it made no sense for us to do that because we had no ownership. But by not putting those highlights in our videos, every single bit of content that we produce, we own 100% of it. If we decided that we want to start our website, dreamerspro.com, we migrate all of the content there. It's all ours. We own all of that. These are decisions that we made, right? These were decisions we made to stand out. But also we noticed that the biggest voices in sports don't need to hypnotize you or bombard you with highlights for you to pay attention to them. That was just something we looked at and said, okay, listen, this is going to be our solid production. Now, some people disliked it. Some people said, why don't you put highlights in your video? Why don't you do this? But we decided, no, we wanted to do this and we wanted to be, unique in our own way. And over time, we started to build a core audience that kept returning to our content, right? This was just one of our ways to kind of differentiate ourselves. And now we have a loyal following. It's not a very big audience, but they're loyal. They come back every day. We have a high turnover. I mean, we have a high turnover where people come back every single day to consume our content, which is something that we're really happy about. Now, we recently did some videos on Kwame Brown, and Kwame Brown was kind of talking about this whole idea of there being sort of gatekeepers in media. In his case, we're talking about sports media because Kwame Brown was a professional basketball player. So a lot of the people that he's mentioning, he's talking about sports, commentators. He's not talking about Don Lemon or, Sean Hannity or any of these guys, Tucker Carlson. He's not talking about these guys in politics. A lot of, I think, of his beef has to do with people within his industry in basketball, people that played basketball or people that talk about basketball. You see him kind of giving his take on Stephen A. Smith and others. You see him giving his take on certain athletes that he played with or that played in the same league as him. So he's giving his take where he said, listen, these guys are no longer going to be controlling the narrative all the time, right? And we've been saying here that, listen, people want to hear more from other voices out there. It can't just be the same 4 or 5 opinion makers that go out there and shape the narrative for everyone, right? Other people need to be able to have a voice to give an honest take on sports too, because in a lot of cases, what you end up seeing is that, listen, a lot of these voices that we see out there are either biased as hell or being let's say influenced to say and do certain things. And I don't think that was fair. If you notice on our channel, we've covered Kawhi Leonard a lot. Let me kind of reiterate the reason why we cover Kawhi Leonard so much for some people that may be new to the channel or maybe don't understand it. Number one, Kawhi Leonard is my favorite basketball player. So I feel like as a basketball fan, I should be able to talk about my favorite player, and I don't think there should be any problem with that, given the fact that it's a free world. I don't think someone talking about their favorite basketball player should be an issue. I think where the problem comes in is that if I became too biased towards him, if I never critique him when he does something that I don't agree with. Everyone that follows Dreamerspro knows for a fact that there have been times where I've criticized Kawhi Leonard heavily. And the reason I did that is because people won't take you seriously if you only have nice things to say about the people you like. No one takes you seriously. It's like a parent that refuses to discipline their kid. All they can do is give them, you reward them for the good things. But when they do something bad, they just turn a blind eye. They'll say you're spoiling that kid. And for us, we knew that no one would respect us if ultimately all we were doing was just sucking up to Kawhi Leonard. He's my favorite player, but sometimes I hold his feet to the fire, because you got to be consistent, because then that gives you leverage to talk about other people's favorite players. And if they feel a certain way, you can say, hey, wait a minute. Before you get in your feelings, know that I talk about my favorite player too, but I'm fair and balanced, right? That's one of the things that we did. Another reason was we said that this guy doesn't get enough coverage. We said this is a great player. He doesn't get enough coverage, so we want to cover him. We talk about the Clippers. The Clippers, who seem to be a team that gets bullied a lot. In sports media, it seems like whenever things go wrong, it seems like people jump on them, like as if no other team does anything wrong. When they lose, it's like the end of the world. When other teams lose, it's like, okay, on to the next one. I thought that wasn't fair. I felt like there was a fan base that was being marginalized. So I said, let's cover them, right? So, but none of this is possible without there being a way for an independent voice like us, in this case, Dreamerspro, to have a platform to do so. Now, it's not just, oh, the platform just popped up from the ground and all of a sudden, no, you work at it. Every single day we work. Marco and I work about 340, 50 days a year. We work all the time. There's no weekends for us. For us to take off 2 days, we got to plan like 3 weeks in ahead just to take off 2 days in a row, right? So we work our tails off to this point. One of the reasons why, because of the fact that we're an independent sports media company, we started our own online sports community. No one invested any money in us. No one came. We didn't go to any bank. No company said, here, come and take this. This is just us using our ingenuity, our work ethic, our knowledge, our, building a loyal audience base. And we built our own sports platform. Marco and I, nobody else did it. No one came to us and gave us a bloody thing. We did it by modeling ourselves after successful, independent voices in media. And this is critical. It's extremely important that there be space for independent media to have a voice, because you provide a balance. It's the reason why you see people like Bill Simmons. If those of you guys who don't know, Bill Simmons is the founder of The Ringer. I think what you sold for, I forgot the company he sold it to for, I think Bill Simmons is worth like $100 million. He used to be an employee at ESPN. Didn't work out. He went and striked out and did his own thing. He has they have a lot of great podcasts on theringer.com. Great website. Fantastic company. You think of people like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is an independent voice. Right now, obviously he's on Spotify, but he still has a lot of creative control. And he says, listen, I should be able to talk about what the heck I want to talk about. You think of Ben Shapiro, whether you like him or dislike him is irrelevant. The point is, he has an opportunity to have a voice. You don't need to agree with people like this, but you can't say they shouldn't have a right to have their own opinion. Now, when they put out their opinion, it's up to you to disagree or agree, but they should have a right, and they should have a space, if they work hard at it, to be able to go out there and share their viewpoints. Ben Shapiro has a great company if you're looking at it from a business standpoint. A lot of good mechanisms in his company that make a lot of sense. Something worth modeling. So for me, I think that independent media is needed because there's always a need for balance. Whether people believe it or not, there's a need for balance. And right now you're seeing that a lot of people are beginning to side with our opinion. This is something we've been trumpeting for years on this channel, right? For years. Even the guy that goes to the basketball game, that buys a ticket, that's sitting in the nosebleeds, has every right to be there, or has just as much as a right to be there as a season ticket holder or the guy that sits on the front court. You know why? Because they both paid to be there. So every voice is needed. That's my take on it. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you think it's important to have a balance in sports media, or do you think, listen, you have no problem with the narrative being dominated by 1 or 2 major companies, or 4 or 5 major personalities? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day. Catch you guys on the next episode.